Welcome to the very first edition of Monkey Night Fight Picks through Fantasy Focused for the Week 7 slate of NFL action. I'm Derek Tate alongside Ryan Levy and Matt Bucs. And we're going to be breaking down John Gruden, his first crack at playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since he won a Super Bowl title back in 2003. And by the way, the guy that he was supposed to have leading the charge, Antonio Brown, there's a little bit of news with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and AB getting back into the NFL. We're going to talk about that and more here on Fantasy Focus. So, guys, we got a lot to discuss. Let's go ahead before we make our Monkey Night Fight picks. First off, if you haven't yet done so, go to monkeyknifefight.com. When you create an account, use the promo code FOCUS when you make your first deposit. Monkey Night Fight will match it up to $50. But Levy, Antonio Brown to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 1-year deal, 8-game suspension, so he will be missing through the first 8 weeks. But what do you think? What's your thoughts on Antonio Brown?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been rumors of this since the offseason, and I guess they just wanted to wait until the suspension was over with and all that. But, I mean, as a Bucs fan, and it's interesting to get a pulse because we're in a group chat. There's a bunch of diehard Bucs fans, right? And it seems like most of our friends, lifelong Bucs fans, were disappointed. And I know Bucky's one of those people. So I'm curious to get his take as well. But for me, as a Bucs fan, it shows me that we're all in on a Super Bowl run, which I already think we were anyway. But to add a talent like Antonio Brown, I mean, how can you argue with that? I guess the other side of the coin is, you know, he's a cancer and he's not good for the locker room and this and that. But to me, I feel like this guy's got one more chance to get his shit together. And I don't think he's going to be dumb enough to screw that up. So I think Tommy's going to keep him in line. He's going to be humbled. And to look at the talent on offense, it's unbelievable. I mean, Rojo probably just went out and bought himself another Lamborghini because, I mean, I'm ecstatic. I just hope that he can keep it together.
So, Bucky, on the flip side of the coin, the reason why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and every other team in the National Football League held out on even signing and really entertaining the thought of bringing in AB was because he had multiple violations of the personal conduct policy, which resulted in him getting not only an 8-game suspension, but also the league reserving the right to extend that suspension if they found any further wrongdoing with all of the off-the-field bullshit that caused him to wind up in this situation in the first place. So you bring in and already have a talented group of pass catchers here in Tampa Bay, and even some young guys that have shown some nice flashes in Scotty Miller, and even I like Tyler Johnson quite a bit, but you really stunt their growth because you bring in a guy that's, you know, obviously a bona fide all-pro and top 5 wide receiver when he was on the field last. We saw him back in 2018. But does this help hurt the Bucs? Do you think this hurts the chemistry of this football team that's already been trying to develop that chemistry through the start of the season?
My personal take is it does not help chemistry. We've seen so many glimpses now to AB, you know, via Instagram lives or whatever, and just how he handles adversity when things don't go his way. It's just not right. And I think that he's going to come into that locker room and think, you know, it's 2014 and I'm the best player in the NFL. And the fact of the matter is, hopefully he's not that, and maybe he's matured. But when I look at the Buccaneers, and I'm with you with Scotty Miller, I like Tyler Johnson quite a bit. You know, he started to come on the last couple of weeks, you know, the rookie. It's one of those things that I would rather risk it on the cheaper options, long-term options. I'm just not thrilled with the pickup by the Buccaneers, and I'm not sure how this really moves the needle. We'll see. I think he's a skilled player. He's definitely, when he's on his game, he's fantastic. Can he add a lot to the team on the field? Sure. I just worry about off of it.
I want to jump in because if we're talking about X's and O's, and we're talking about how he helps a football team, and Sam over there on Twitch and Dried Ocean joining us live, we will go ahead and get to your questions. Go ahead and hit us with your questions in the comments if you guys are now joining us live here on Fantasy Focus. We really appreciate you all coming by and joining us on a Saturday morning. But we're talking to Antonio Brown right now, and when it comes to how he can help move the needle for a contender, And when it comes to Antonio Brown, there are some things that concern me, Buck. Like, I mean, is he going to come in and probably be on his best behavior, do everything right for the first couple weeks? Probably, yeah. I mean, he's trying to get back in the good graces of folks across the league, prove that he's no longer an off-the-field issue, an idiot, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to make the most of his second chance, and I think that he looks at this possibly as his final chance in the National Football League. So, is he going to probably be a dumbed down version of Antonio? Hopefully, well behaved. We haven't heard much from him recently. So, I mean, since he retired, I guess, and prior to the start of the NFL season, when he announced his second retirement via Twitter. But I do think that there could be some. Once Antonio gets comfortable, could he start chirping? Could he start trying to complain about not getting the ball enough? I think it's a possibility. God bless you, Buck.
Oh, the allergies.
But yeah, I mean, but Levy, the way I look at it though, like how much did he really impact New England last year, right? I mean, like they brought him in, he played one game, he scored a touchdown, and then once he started having off the field issues, they went ahead and let him go. So
he didn't have a chance to impact him though because it was off the field crap.
Well, what I'm saying though is if he starts with the bullshit again, they can always just let him go.
Right. So to me, it's low risk. What do we probably signed him for league minimum at this point, right?
I mean, I don't know what the details are. I don't think they've been released yet as far as the incentives that are probably inlaid into a 1-year deal. But if we're talking fantasy though, let's flip the coin now with Antonio Brown and his fantasy value as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer moving forward for the rest of the fantasy football season. I think that he's definitely worth an ad. I don't know even if he plays against the Saints when he's first eligible to play, I don't know if I'm taking a dart throw at him. I'm probably in a wait and see approach, but he's definitely a kind of a high upside lottery ticket if you can add him without having to blow your entire free agent budget to get him on your bench and stash him away.
But how high is the upside when you've got Godwin and Evans there? To me, it just helps the running game even more. That's what I'm saying. Like Rojo to me is a top 8 option the rest of the year, assuming that this offense is continuing to click. But it hurts the value of Godwin and Evans to me.
I mean, we already saw him getting other players involved, though. I mean, we already saw him getting
Tom Brady. He's going to get everybody involved.
Right.
I think he's worth a stash for the mere reason that Evans and Godwin are both banged up. I think they're playing hurt, and you never know what could happen, right? You might have AB slotted outside, and he's your go-to guy. It allows Godwin to do his thing, moving all over the field. I think it'll be a very interesting mix. And Tom Brady, look, my personal bias aside and my dislike for the man, put it in the bathroom. Here's what I'll say. I think he's worth an ad because Tom Brady has proven year over year that when he has a full-fledged offense, everybody gets involved. This only helps Godwin and Evans if they're healthy and all three are lining up. So I'm totally fine with the addition from that perspective on a fantasy level, but from a team that I support, I'm not a huge fan.
Fair enough. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these questions from our viewers that are live here on Fantasy Focus for this episode of DFS picks through Monkey Knife Fight for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, baby. I've been saving that one for a little bit. So Sam joining us on Twitch. Do you guys think DeAndre Hopkins and Jamison Crowder are going to play this week? The thing with the injury report, Sam, on a Saturday when they are game time decisions, it's always very tricky. So this is a perfect opportunity to go ahead and plug our live show on every Sunday morning. We keep you updated with all the inactives, actives, game time decisions that we have leading up to the 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff. We go live from 10 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. over there Pacific. Levy is just up at the crack of dawn every single weekend day. I don't know how the guy does it. I sleep till like noon, and I have to wake up early at 10 a.m. for this. So, but yeah, I mean, do we think that they have a chance to play? Absolutely. D-Hop, until I don't see him play and doesn't look effective, then, I'm thinking that D-Hop's going to play.
Yeah, I agree. I'm nervous about Crowder more, but
fair.
Too early to tell.
Sam, which quarterback should I start, Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray? It's a great problem to have. Bucky, any thoughts on these two this week?
I'm starting Kyler Murray this week.
I'm never benching Russ Wilson.
Same. I'm not sitting Russ. I mean, what was it? Kyler Murray only had to complete 9 passes against that porous Dallas defense. I mean, that's not a fair barometer. I mean, he did his damage. I get it, but that Dallas defense just sucks.
Yeah, but is Seattle's any better?
No, I'm
Not really.
Seattle's is any better, but I mean, I just look. I'm going with Russ Wilson, man. Like I'm just. You okay, man?
It's the Rona.
You're allergic to your own take.
He's allergic to AD.
I think it's that. I've been infected by sneezes.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not going against Russ Wilson. I mean,
I just don't understand why you drafted both of these people, Sam. Why do you do this to yourself?
Because he's good.
He's good. That's a good problem to have.
That's a 4th and a 5th round pick right there, or 5th and 6th. It's just, to me, you're putting yourself in a bad situation. I hope you learned your lesson.
No,
I am not going to.
We don't need a
disparage
dog
somebody
fancy
for drafting
crow
well.
nab.
Come on, man. Jeez.
Pro Nomad.
He also has didn't finish that question. There it is. Which 2 running backs should I start? David Johnson, Derrick Henry, Latavius Murray, or Devin Singletary? Levy, I'm going to just go with the first 2 options here with Derrick Henry and David Johnson. I know Derrick Henry's got a matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers that isn't exactly enticing, but I mean, I don't see a world where I'm sitting Derrick Henry and Latavius Murray, even though he's getting like 10 carries a game. I'm still going to roll with David Johnson because of requisite touches, especially now that Zach Moss is back in the fold there in Buffalo.
I agree 100%. This is an easy one for me. You can never bench Henry. And for me, Singletary's been disappointing. Lab Murray's fine, but Kamara's still the guy there. So it's Johnson and Henry for me, dude.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Rojo was able to do against the Packers. I'm going to go David Johnson and Henry.
3 straight 100-yard games for Rojo, man. He is cooking. So even when Leonard Fournette comes back, he's got an uphill battle for touches.
I will say I think Singletary gets another 18-carry game, but he's not going to yield much out of it. It's just been a consistent theme.
Fair enough. Will Jenkins, thanks for joining us. Willie Jenkins. It's more of a want to move than a need to move. Yeah, I mean, I feel you with Antonio Brown. And Sam, we got more questions. Look, I love that you trust me with your entire lineup, or trust us with your entire lineup. That's what I like to see. Which 2 wide receivers should I play? Robert Woods, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, or Jamison Crowder? Hence the DeAndre Hopkins and Jamison Crowder question. I mean, personally, if they're all healthy, I'm going D-Hop and Keenan Allen. I know that Bob Woods is even a little bit banged up, Bucky. We don't like that for our boy, rude boy Bob.
Keenan Allen is too. Keenan Allen's got a back.
Yeah. All dinged up.
For me, I'd probably actually go D-Hop and Woods. I'm nervous about the Keenan Allen injury, especially coming off the bye, and he's still easing into practice from what I've been reading this week. But it's rough. Tune in Sunday morning, dude. Ask us this again. We got to look at that injury report.
And one more from Sam as far as start sit at tight end, Eric Ebron or Evan Ingram. I want to raise my hand and just say to hell with Evan Ingram.
Well, wait a minute.
He already played.
Well, no. I know that's what I'm saying. I was going to alleviate to the point to where he actually had a chance to secure a win for the New York Giants, would have put them atop or tied with the Dallas Cowboys atop the division on 3rd and 6 to run the clock out. And instead of laying out, he just lets the ball hit his fingertips, and Eagles get the ball back. Wentz drives them down the field, and the Giants snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. So. Shocker.
It's Eric Ebron, considering Ingram did not do much.
I don't understand the Ingram ordeal this year. I mean, the targets are there. He's just not doing anything. It looks like I don't know if he put on an extra 25 pounds or what. It looks like he's carrying a piano on his back out there.
It's been a precipitous decline.
Yeah, it's gross.
I mean, he never really started at that high to begin with, so it's not a very.
Yeah, he did.
Baller. It's like, dude, it's like, come on, it's like falling off a stepped stool.
Didn't he catch like 90 balls?
He was good.
Year? I mean, his rookie year. But anyway, all that aside, you start Eric Ebron because, I mean, you have to.
You got nothing else.
Dried Ocean, I can see something like AB trying to fight Evans. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting.
Evans doesn't play no shit either. Evans is a tough, hard-nosed dude.
I mean, Marshawn Lattimore seems to punk him a lot. Charlie Hicks, good Bucs. AB will draw more cover. I mean, they have so many guys that can draw coverage. That's the one thing, Buck, that I actually love about this for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is that if Antonio Brown is even giving you what, like 80 to 90% of that all-pro type production, and he's still able to separate like we're accustomed to, I mean, what do you take away? You don't.
Right. Rojo, baby.
Take away Eau Claire.
And Sam, on the kicker questions, we've got to step up our kicker analysis because Buck just flat out won't answer them.
We really don't. I go with the coolest name here. I'm going Kaimi Fairbairn.
I mean, Gostkowski stinks. Gostkowski stinks. Cut his ass.
Bounce back week for the entire Packers organization. Give me Mason Crosby. So
I'll go Crosby too.
And should I keep the Packers defense or pick up the Cowboy? Did you ask me if we should pick up the Cowboys defense? In what way could I even try to sell the Cowboys defense as an upside pick ever?
Out of this, I'd go Chiefs.
Yeah, agreed. I'm going Chiefs. Kansas City. Yeah. User. If I'm 2-4 and have Michael Thomas, should I trade him away with his hammy injury now? How long do you expect him to be out? And would you take Will Fuller or AJ Brown in return for Michael Thomas? So, Bucky, I want to use a quote that I used yesterday in trying to describe the Michael Thomas situation because it's been a little bit odd and there's something happening here. And what it is ain't exactly clear because when Michael Thomas looked like he was going to come back prior to what? What are you guys laughing at?
What's the best music?
It was so corny.
I know.
Best musical reference you've ever done, Tate. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Feels like I got a bunch of corn kernels in my teeth.
Sorry, guys. But anyway, point is there's something going on with Michael Thomas and the New Orleans Saints. Allegations that there was a potential altercation between him and some teammates and even the coaching staff, which led to him, quote unquote, not being ready to go prior to their bye week. So they made him inactive, saying that there was a setback or something or not ready to go because of the high ankle sprain. Now he comes back to practice this week. He's practicing on Tuesday, but then he's a limited practice on Wednesday with a hamstring injury. Now he's completely inactive. I mean, guys, am I reading too much between the lines, or is there something going on with Michael Thomas there in New Orleans? Bucky, I'll leave that to you.
No, I mean, there's clearly something is happening here, Derek. What I worry about most is you've clearly drafted him in the first round, so everybody has this. I have to keep this player because of where I drafted him. I would take Will Fuller for Michael Thomas right now, and AJ Brown, either or. Trade him away.
I agree. I'd actually take either of these guys too. I'm not convinced that Michael Thomas is even going to play this year. I don't know what's happening. I know he played in week 1, but to me, the whole hammy thing seems like BS. Like, how easy is it to be disgruntled and be like, "Ooh, I tweaked my hammy." Come on, dude. Get your ass on the field. Sack up. Let's go.
I've had a hammy every day since I was 25 years old.
Something's not kosher here, man. And I hate it because I only have one share of Michael Thomas, and it's my worst team.
I thought you were going to say you only have one hammy.
True. I only got one hammy, too.
Based on your golf swing, yeah.
Owie. Shots fired.
Take what you can get for him right now. Something is not right there.
So user, I'm on board with Levy and Bucs on this one. Certainly for the two names you mentioned. I'm much more inclined to do it for AJ Brown than I am for Will Fuller. But
I'm starting to turn on Will Fuller. Like I've always been a doubter. He's starting to creep into my sanctuary.
He's stayed healthy for the most part this year, and that doesn't it look like the Texans are a completely different football team now that Bill O'Brien's out of town? Like all of a sudden they have now morphed into something that is like
yes. A lot of that is just faith in your coaching staff. When you see this guy who's acting as GM and head coach basically strip you away from your best talent for no reason, getting nothing in return, you get pissed. And then knowing that there's no follow through in the form of draft picks, there's a resentment there. Now that's gone. Everybody's playing for each other at this point.
Agreed. Sam talking about Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins predictions for next week. It's hard to go with predictions for next week. Kind of want to focus on this week. But, as far as Tua moving forward, I'm actually feeling like he's going to be a nice streaming option at quarterback. I like what I've seen from the evolution and the progression development for Preston Williams. Then we got, Devontae Parker's playing well. And they got some other nice options. I think Myles Gaskin has really kind of stolen that lead back role there in Miami and done a nice job out of the backfield. I just think that this offense has top 15 type upside on almost a week-to-week basis, unless they're playing like the New England Patriots or something of that nature. I'm willing to roll with Tua as a streaming option or a quarterback too in Superflex leagues.
Ew, disgusting.
Tate, real quick, can you back me up, because Bucky and I went live Wednesday night and we talked about Tua, and I basically blew my load on him in every league in terms of my free agency auction budget.
Okay.
Am I crazy?
Well, if you're in a 1 QB league, yes.
Why?
Because the upside for a quarterback that is going to have his learning lumps as a rookie,
his lady lumps.
No, I know. I figured you were going to go. Someone was going to go with my lumps, my lumps, my lumps. I can't do too many music references, please. I've already blown my wad on one of them today earlier, and it was something's happening here. Anyway, but no, I don't think that you should have blown your wad free agent wise on Tua Tagovailoa. He's still a rookie, man, and it's still going to take some. He's going to have some ups and downs. He's going to have
Patrick Mahomes a few years back.
Patrick Mahomes got one start as a rookie, brother. This is a very bad comparison.
No, it's not, because as a sophomore, I should say, when no one was high on him, in terms of fantasy, he had a monster year.
I think he's going to be similar to Joe Burrow. I think he's going to have some very good games, and then he's going to have some games where he's a rookie and he finds out, very quickly that things are a little bit different in the National Football League. I'm just saying he's a streamer. I'm saying he's a top 15 option, I think. But if you're expecting him to come in and be a top 5 and you blew your whole free agent wad on him, then I'm telling you that was a mistake.
I'll take top 15, but I'm going to make both you eat your words here in like 3 weeks.
I'm a big Tua fan. Come on. Anyway.
I just feel like whatever. I don't want to talk too much more about Tua, but I'm excited. I'm going to catch that lightning in a bottle. Let's go.
Feel you. Charlie Hicks. Brady gets everyone involved. We're talking again about Antonio Brown. Yeah, it kind of dilutes the situation there. Could it just make it to where Brady is just tossing the ball over the yard? Maybe, and this whole offense is productive, but we'll see. I certainly Antonio Brown makes him that much more explosive. Sam drafted Russell Wilson in the 4th and somehow got Kyler in the 12th. So
right.
Can you stop disparaging Sam for having 2 good quarterbacks on it?
I approve now. I approve. Just trade him.
By the way, Charlie mentioning, how about that Bucs defense? Wash your hands of it, son. Got to Aaron Rodgers. Discount, double check. Tried that bullshit little dance that he tried to pull on us.
That was offensive.
Yeah, it was. Bucky, what did you think of that?
They should fine him for that.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
No, I don't watch anything on Aaron Rodgers. I just change the channel when he's on the screen.
He should be fined for that move. That was repulsive.
Should have watched the entire Bucs game last week, because the Bucs defense. I tell you what, if the Bucs defense plays anything like that consistently through the rest of the year, they're Super Bowl contenders. That's where I buy in and believe. They've been very, very, very good up to this point of the season for the most part. Scott Friedman, who gets more receiving yards, catches, Julio or Calvin Ridley this week? By the way, I'm going to have to eat my words. I said to exercise extreme caution when it came to Julio last week. And you know what? I apologize to anybody that did sit Julio with my advice. I just was trying to play it cautious. I'm happy for your team now that he's healthy. Now he's a must-start, no-brainer every single week. It's a good thing. But for this week, I'm probably going to go with Julio. If I'm going to say who's going to get more in the heads-up matchup, I'll go with Julio in both receptions and yards.
Yeah, I agree. It's okay, Derek. I had your back last week, and I told everyone to start Julio. So hopefully they listen to me.
I'm going with Calvin Ridley here.
Connor Nero 15. Should I trade AB for Debo Samuel in a full point PPR? You guys are both nodding your heads. I have to.
Nicholson gif.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. I'm all about that. Who do you think comes out of the NFC East? I don't know. This sucks.
The Eagles, I guess.
I just don't see the Dallas Cowboys righting the ship. I mean, oh my God.
I'll say the Eagles because their defense is at least halfway competent.
Right.
Yeah. I'm rolling with Philly, even though
And whenever Wentz chooses he doesn't want to make terrible plays, he's actually pretty decent.
Sam, yeah, I understand maybe projection wise.
No, don't look at projections. Look at what
Agreed.
they've done all year.
No problem. And then user giving us a little love. Thanks. Hello, guys. How y'all doing?
Hello, the gamers division. Emphasis on the.
Our popularity on Twitch is rising. I love it.
I'm loving Twitch.
Look, I
love
actually
all these
played
tweeters.
3 games of Madden last night when I couldn't sleep. Won all 3. I got to start streaming these games is what I'm saying.
Figure it out, Tate.
What's that?
I said figure it out so you can start streaming the games.
User, thoughts on James Robinson for the rest of the season before we get into our Monkey Knife Fights picks. DFS for the game between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, thanks for joining us live. User, Robinson the rest of the season, would you rather have him or Jonathan Taylor? I mean, I'll jump in real quick. I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor, guys. I mean, I get that Robinson's had a great season for what my expectations were, which were nothing heading into the season. He's certainly taken that job and run with it, but I just have a feeling that Jonathan Taylor, the best is yet to come. Like, they just need to commit to giving him the football quite a bit more. For some reason, they continue to kind of paw around with it. They give Nyheim Hines a bunch of touches. Even Jordan Wilkins sees the ball, somewhere between 5 to 10 times in many games. I just think the best is yet to come for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I see Robinson as a low-end RB2 for the rest of the season. He flashed out of the gates. Teams are realizing he's the focal point, and we are where we are, where he's going to get a lot of touches. I'm not sure the production follows. Jonathan Taylor has been the opposite of that spectrum. I look for Jonathan Taylor to ascend. I look for not a steep descent for James Robinson. He'll flash, but I like what I've seen from Taylor, and I like the fact that he's getting more and more and more involved. You need to just cut Jordan Wilkins, please. I want him gone because that would make life a lot easier as a Jonathan Taylor manager. But yeah, I'm gonna go for Taylor here. User.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go the Taylor side as well. I just believe in that football team in general more, and to me, Jonathan Taylor is a much better player than James Robinson. I know he's had some great production. You should be happy with what you got out of Robinson, but rest of the season, no doubt for me, it's JTT.
Yeah. So and
the
then,
next one, this is interesting. James.
Yeah. So Jaime Gonzalez jumping in real quick, but now we got a little bit of love, super chat. Jacob, appreciate the love, man. Love the player prop content. Hope you guys do more. We've been, pumping out probably about 5 to 7 videos a week for Monkey Knife Fight DFS picks. Look, I personally prefer playing Monkey Knife Fight and player props to playing that of normal DFS of DraftKings and FanDuel and stuff of that nature, strictly because you're not playing against a lot of those sharks, but you get to pick which contest you want to play. And a lot of those heads up matchups, I'll go ahead and make a post on Instagram. By the way, if you have not yet done so, go ahead and follow us on Instagram. That's the handle right there at the bottom right part of your screen at Fantasy Focused.
Jacob, we're going to be doing 3 more videos after this morning where it's just Monkey Knife Fight. So we won't be answering questions. We're going to have a live show tomorrow. If you have any lineup questions, start sit 10 a.m. Eastern time. But stay tuned. We're going to be going live for those. We like to open it up. Whenever we first go live, we tend to get a few questions, and we love all the support and interaction with y'all. But we will be focused on Monkey Knife Fight here in just a minute.
And speaking of which, Sam's saying, so ready for Monkey Knife Fight. So is this a perfect opportunity or what to go ahead and segue?
We got one more question from user. I hate to be that guy, but they have stated it is their last question.
That's all right. We love you, user. If I have Jonnu, would you still trade for AJ Brown? Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with trading for 2 quality pass catching options. In particular, at tight end, Jonnu Smith. has been a top 10 option on most weeks, or top 10 play on most weeks at the tight end position. You're going to play him regardless. A.J. Brown, I think, is a top 25 wide receiver moving forward with top 15 upside.
Sure.
So I'm totally okay with starting both on a weekly basis.
I like a tight end wide receiver stack, especially when they're both so similar as players. I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. But I mean, if you want to diversify, just go Fuller. I think Fuller's a great option too.
It's just one is the size of the Terminator, the other's a bit shorter.
I like you. Bucky, you are now the master. Well, you're the master hand, as I was trying to use the reference.
I'm the pilot,
brother. You are now the one actually in control, is what I meant to say. You have the
steering wheel.
I said that very terribly. I'm going to go ahead and get a cup of coffee.
All right, so Monkey Knife Fight. You go ahead, you click new game, find Tampa Bay, Las Vegas. Here we go. We always play this rapid fire. You got to pick 3 out of 3. It's matchup based. You buy in. If you win and you get all 3 of these pick'ems correct, then you will get 5x your buy-in. So we'll start here. We'll start at the back. We'll start with rushing yards here. Levy, Ronald Jones is spotting 6.5 yards towards Josh Jacobs here. So an interesting theme lately has been Ronald Jones just getting the damn football, running angry, and getting yardage. Had a great game against the Packers this past week. What do you feel about this matchup with Josh Jacobs getting 6.5 rushing yards?
Yeah, for me, listen, I love Josh Jacobs. I'm a Josh Jacobs fan, but I love Rojo more. You said it. He's been getting the damn football. Even with no Vita Vea, that Bucs run defense is solid. 6.5 yards is not, plus 6.5 yards on the Jacobs side is not enough for me to move the needle. So for me, it's an easy choice. Give me Rojo all day.
So this is where I think these videos are so valuable, because general public sees this. They see Josh Jacobs, known entity, known quantity, known exactly like this is a stud RB1. Ronald Jones is still on that ascent, but based on the matchup with the Buccaneers run defense, there's no way in hell, even with 6.5 yards, I'm picking Josh Jacobs. The Buccaneers want to establish the run. They will stick with the run. I know Fournette is back, but I still think this is Ronald Jones' backfield. I'm going to go with Rojo.
So another thing when it comes to this heads-up battle between Rojo and Josh Jacobs, the Las Vegas Raiders named 4 starting offensive linemen to their COVID Reserve 19 list, which means I don't know the name of the character from the Simpsons, but it's a meme all the time, and it's applicable for Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs this week without pretty much their entire starting offensive line. It's that little kid in the back of the bus, and it says, "I'm in danger." Like, they're in danger of having a rough week against this Tampa Bay Bucs unit up front. And look, the Buccaneers defense, I know without Vita Vea, still, this team has not given up 80 yards rushing to a lead back all season long. Rojo is the hot hand. He's gotten 3 straight 100-yard rushing performances, has the plus matchup. Josh Jacobs, without pretty much his entire offensive line against the best run defense in the National Football League. This is Rojo all day, baby.
All right, next one here. We'll go to receptions. Darren Waller. And then you have Chris Godwin getting 0.5. So he comes out with the jump here. Who you like, Tate?
You know, I really thought you guys were going to pat me on the back for that little rant there I just went on.
No, I didn't. I had a hard time.
I wanted to stroke my fantasy ego.
I just had a hard time figuring out the meme thing. You really took me for a school bus ride.
What is the name of that character from The Simpsons?
I don't know.
I'm not a Simpsons guy. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this is 2020.
I'm going to have to. All right. So I'm going to look that up, and I'll share my screen in a second. Or
no,
towards
please
the end.
don't.
Towards the end. Because
Nobody
I'm going
needs to see that.
I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. All right. Receptions. Look, this is Darren Waller for me all day. You know, no offense to Chris Godwin. Godwin's a hell of a player. But I just think that the Buccaneers are going to get out to a lead on the Las Vegas Raiders. And the most consistent option in the passing game is Darren Waller. If they're going to be playing from behind, we're going to probably see 10-plus targets for Darren Waller this week. Whereas Godwin, as we already know, with Brady and the Bucs, there's so many pass-catching options that it kind of gets spread out. I see probably a good 4 reception game for Chris Godwin. I more so see it for 6 or 7 for Darren Waller.
I agree. I'm going Darren Waller. Levy.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I do see the Bucs having a pretty sizable lead in this game, or being in control of this game at least. And when the Raiders are playing from behind, they love to throw it to Darren Waller. He's a talented player. I love Darren Waller. I love Chris Godwin too, but this one's easy for me. I'm going to go Waller. I think he gets 7-8 catches.
And this one's really simple for me. I'm going Derek Carr, even with the battered up offensive line. It's 42.5. Look, Derek Carr has been consistently climbing in terms of what they've had to utilize him for from a passing yardage perspective. It's kind of shifted into that just by a game flow. I look for Derek Carr to throw the ball a lot.
Levy?
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what you say here, Derek, but I actually want to go with the Carr side as well. 42.5 is a lot of yards for me. So I know and believe that the Buccaneers want to continue to establish the run, and I see Rojo getting at least 15 carries in this game, even with Fournette back. I just don't know that Brady needs to throw for 300 yards for them to win this game. The defense is good. They're going to run the ball. He's going to distribute the ball, at the quarterback position. But I don't think he needs to throw for 300 yards. So game flow, give me some Carr, plus 42.5.
So when you're taking a look at I kind of want to go with the law of averages in a lot of scenarios, and of course our prediction as far as game flow goes. Tom Brady's only thrown for over 255 yards in a game on 2 occasions out of the first 6 games played. When it comes to Derek Carr, on the other hand, he's only had 1 game where he's finished under the 255-yard passing mark. So in a game where I think they're going to be very ineffective running the football, I think with the yardage bonus, it's a no-brainer that this is Derek Carr for me all day.
All right, we're in.
We crush rapid fire. That's a winner.
That is our bread and butter.
That is our bread and butter. That one did feel good. I just felt it in my fingertips. All right, let's go over to the Levy 6-pack of donuts.
It's my favorite. We're going to get 6 out of 6 today. No more 5 out of 6s.
So this is more or less on statistics, okay? I'll start it out. I'll go less. I'll go more. I will go actually more here and more on Darren Waller. What are y'all thinking for those 4?
I feel like I can rip through this one real quick. I am also going to go less on Tom Brady, more on Carr. I'm fine with more on Godwin. I'm a little nervous there. It's more on Waller for me, more on Jones, and less on Jacobs.
I like that.
I'm sorry, what? Okay. All right, so we're letting them rip all 6.
This one's so easy. This is the winner.
This one's easy, Tate. Let's get to the monies.
I agree with Brady. I agree with Carr. I definitely agree with Jacobs and Ronald Jones. The tricky ones are the 2 pass catchers.
Right.
When it comes to Darren Waller, again, I said somewhere around 6-7 receptions. And if I'm putting my money where my mouth is here, then let's go ahead and I'll go with the more on that. Godwin, though, guys, Godwin.
That's the one I don't feel great about as well. So I can be flip-flopped here.
Godwin has only caught or had more receiving yards than that total right there once all season, including the last game that he was back. Like, I get that the Buccaneers didn't have to throw the football a whole lot because of how the defense played. And, basically they manufactured 14 points without having to conjure up a single offensive play there in the second quarter to take the lead against the Green Bay Packers. But, I personally, I would go less on Chris Godwin. That's
I'll
me.
do less.
I'm okay with that. I just think it's Rojo time.
I just think the Buccaneers spread the ball around, and that's just generally the way that they do things. I mean, even Evans hasn't been putting up huge, gaudy yardage stat lines. It's more so he's been doing his fantasy damage in the red zone.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just $2 to win 60. Let's do it. I went less because I am Buck Lessman, and I need to uphold the name.
We got one more question in here before we wrap up this episode. Going forward, need a QB. Who should I get? Teddy, Watson, or Matt Ryan for rest of season? Tater, who you got?
For the rest of the season, go ahead and pull it up right here. I mean, I'm going with Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to say it's easy, but, Watson is – there's a reason why folks took him as a top 5 quarterback. He's finished the last 2 or 3 seasons as the quarterback 4 in fantasy formats. Watson, again, it seems to have given that team a huge morale boost, the fact that Bill O'Brien is no longer in town. And they're actually featuring Deshaun Watson in this offense now. They're just letting him do his thing. And that's a great proposition for his fantasy outlook for the rest of the season. So give me Deshaun Watson in that group.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
I'm going Matty Ice.
Meh.
I want to show you the I am in danger meme, but it's looking like I forget the name of this damn Simpsons character, but you guys are
Tommy?
Guys. Huh?
Tommy?
No, it's not Tommy. Hold on. Damn it.
Dude, I don't think it's that funny.
Fine. That's
the meme
fine.
itself.
If the joke is dead, then I'll go ahead and let it die. I won't try to bring it back to life. What the hell ever. So that'll do it for this episode of DFS Picks through Monkey Knife Fight for Week 7 of NFL action. If you're just now joining our channel for the first time here on YouTube or any of the other places that we live stream, go ahead and follow us, subscribe on YouTube, hit the like button. We really appreciate any and all of the support that we get through the channel. Again, I want to go ahead and plug the live show. If you guys have any lineup questions heading into tomorrow's slate of Sunday games, we go live from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right up to 12:30, sometimes 1 p.m., just to make sure we get to any and all of the questions for your lineup heading into the rest of the NFL season. Guys, and one more reminder, if you guys are prop bet fans, go to monkeyknifefight.com. Just remember to use the promo code FOCUS when you make your first deposit. Monkey Knife Fight will match it up to $50. By the way, if you don't want to go into the URL and type in monkeyknifefight.com, we made it real simple for you. The link is in the description. Go ahead and click it. Till next time, everybody. Thank you for joining. And Charlie Hicks, we are actually about to go ahead and tee up and go live here probably within the next, 20, 30 minutes, if that?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, sorry. I like to give myself a little bit more cushioning and padding as far as time goes. But 5-10 minutes. Stay right here. Click that little bell so you get a notification when we go live here in the next 10 to 15 minutes for another Monkey Knife Fight pick. I rambled on. Let's go. Later, says it there.
The only cushion I need is the one under my ass.
See ya.